Hey guys, Mark here with a review video for you. Today we're reviewing a Surfskate deck, and this one is the Whitetail Cheetah Supreme. So this board from Whitetail Skateboards is kind of the little cousin to one of my favorite Surfskate decks, the Whitetail Whaleshark. The Cheetah has very similar dimensions, but it's about 3 inches shorter, but still gives lots of different wheelbase options. It still has the concave that helps keep you locked in. So let's see how it rides for someone who rides with my kind of all-around, want-to-do-everything style. So we're talking about the Whitetail Skateboards Cheetah, and this is a board that is modeled off of my absolute favorite all-around deck, which is the Whitetail Whaleshark. So if you look, the board actually has the exact same concave. The shape is very similar because the Cheetah is actually just kind of a cut down version of the Whaleshark. So side by side, you can see the Cheetah here and the Whaleshark. You can see there's a difference there that would be pretty significant for a shorter rider, someone who wants a smaller, more nimble board. That's going to make a pretty big difference. And you don't lose anything in terms of your foot positioning between the wheels, because all of the extra spaces come from the nose and the tail. The concave is the same, so that means that between the bolts, you've got those same nice pockets up here and back here. So you're still going to have that great locked-in feeling that you get from the Whaleshark, but in a more compact size. For the testing, I set up my board with Carver C5 trucks and the Surfskate Love 93A new Park and Bowl wheels. I didn't use quick trucks on this one because Sophie sent me this board to test out. I didn't expect to be keeping it, so I just wanted to have one system that I'd be trying it out with. Alright, so let's start by talking about what the deck does well, and I love doing slides in the skate park, on banks and quarter pipes, and the familiar concave that the Cheetah has that's similar to the Whaleshark is one of the best things that it does is how well it locks your feet in. Your feet just get stuck in those pockets, and no matter how far you're stretching out, they stay in place. It's fantastic. It's one of the biggest things that appealed to me about Whitetail Skateboards designs when I first started. And the Cheetah definitely has that. There's a little bit less nose, but it still works. Like your foot is not going to slip off the front. It still feels really well locked in. And that same amazing shape and concave, I think, makes the Cheetah a really good choice for bull riding. You feel super secure when you're getting up onto the coping, when you're really stretched out, when you're riding with speed. You just have the confidence of knowing that you're in the right spot on your board and knowing that whether you're doing slides, whether you're doing grinds, that your feet are going to stay in place and you can ride with confidence at high speeds. So the Whitetail boards in general tend to be really strong and durable, but the bigger boards are a little bit heavier. Now, I found that this board being a little bit smaller and more nimble meant you could get really big air because it was lighter than the Whaleshark or the Tiger Shark. So it's like the Shark series in terms of the concave, but the lighter weight and the smaller size means it's a little bit easier to get it airborne. Now, I did worry about how that would affect street riding with less of a tail and less of a nose, but I've put it to the test and I found that it really didn't make that big of a difference. I could do wall rides, I could ride up on rocks, I could do board slides and that. The concave on this board means that you can do board slides and it slides really nicely because there's less friction because of the concave, so that it slides really well on a wax curb like this. And even though the nose is shorter, you still have enough nose to do nollie-based tricks. So here I did a nollie 270 over the hip and rode away smooth. While I could nollie alright on this board, I was surprised that it nollied so well, but for ollies it is a little bit more difficult. The shorter tail you feel a lot more than the shorter nose. But you could still do little ollies, it just is harder to get a nice big clean popped ollie. So if you're interested in doing skate tricks, the ollie based tricks are going to be a little bit tougher, and other flip tricks, they are possible. I almost landed a tray flip on this board, but I think the feral cat would be the better whitetail option if that's your main interest. So with the smaller nose and tail, I wasn't sure how this board would work for doing slappies, but it was just fine. Easy enough to get onto the curbs, good to get a good lock on there with the concave and enough nose and tail, and surprisingly, there was enough nose to even do nose slides on it. I forgot to mention this earlier. If you're new to my channel, I am a sponsored rider for Whitetail Skateboards, so I did not buy this deck to do the review, but it is a new product that Whitetail Skateboards has made, and Sophie, the owner, sent me the board to test out for this review. She initially thought that I wouldn't like it because of the shorter nose and tail, but I'll be honest, I actually love this thing, and Sophie, I'm keeping it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It does everything pretty well. It just gives me something a little bit different if I want something lighter and more nimble than the Whaleshark. I know a lot of folks were sold on the usability of the Whaleshark and how perfect it was, but I'm a taller rider and I'm doing street skate tricks a lot, so if you are on the shorter side, like less than 6 feet, and if you don't have a lot of interest in doing ollie based tricks, then I think that this is the perfect board that will give you all of the good of the Whaleshark, but with the smaller size, a little bit more nimble, a little bit lighter. It doesn't have the long nose if you're not going to be using that anyways, so it kind of like gives a perfect in between of the feral cat and the Whaleshark. Alright, that's about it for now. I hope you found this useful. If you do have any questions that I didn't address, please feel free to leave it in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching.